Salut, salut, salut. How are we doing this beautiful Saturday? Why did I pause? Apologies. How are we doing this beautiful Saturday? I'm hoping everybody is doing fantastically well. I'm going to share my screen now. Hello. Salut, James. Salut, Tonya. Salut. Thank you for being here today. Please let me know when you can see my screen. Let me know when you can see my screen. Salut, Chidima. Salut, salut. Thank you for being here today. So, welcome to the French Arena Masterclass on French verbs. I know that so many times I get questions, hi Sumo, how did you remember how to conjugate a particular verb? What do we do? I'm like, today I'm going to explain everything to you so that you have no worries. But before we get started, can you just tell me where are you joining from and what your name is? Where you're joining from and what your name is. Okay, I'm seeing some comments. Okay. Oh, Tonya is from Jamaica. I've always wanted to visit. Maybe next year, hopefully next year. Okay. Oh, interesting. From Jordan. Jordan, nice. Nice, nice. Okay. So hello for Sally if you're just joining your name and where you're joining from. Hmm. Okay. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So what I said, for those that just joined, thank you so much for joining. I said what your name is and where you are joining from. Just those two things. Yeah. Oh, Nuruddin is from Nigeria. Salut, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for being here. Okay. So for those that just joined, thank you so much for joining. I asked for your name, where you're joining from, and the next question. If you could visit any francophone country right now, so if you had a credit card that had no limits, and someone just said, all you need to do, just tell me the francophone country you want to visit, and you'll be there. Where would you go? For me personally, I would love to visit Senegal. I went there with my husband for his birthday. I think this was 2022, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. It was a very short holiday for about a week to 9 days. So it's a francophone country that is top of my list that I would definitely love to visit again. The people, the food, the weather, I loved it all. So Senegal, excuse me, Senegal is a francophone country that if someone woke me up today and said, "Hey, so where do you want to go?" I would visit. So tell me in the comment section. Oh, Miracle says Paris. Yes, yes, Paris is beautiful. We were also there this year. I know I'm sounding like a traveler. My maiden name is Ajala, so yes, I guess that also helps. We were there this year in May to June. Yeah, we visited May to June, and it was beautiful. It was really beautiful. This was for the Olympics, so there wasn't a lot of noise, but it was still beautiful. It was nice. Nana is joining from Ghana. Salut. Ojo Tule, love to visit France. France is beautiful. There are so many cities in France. I remember when I first thought I would visit France, I was only always hearing Paris, Paris. Where would I visit? But then I've gotten to visit Lyon, Bordeaux, Sète, Nimes, Montpellier. There are so many beautiful cities in France. But yeah, thank you guys for being here. Amazing. Okay, if you're just joining, I asked you for your name, where you're joining from, and just if you could visit any francophone country right now. So someone said, take this credit card, it has no limits. Just go where you want to go. Where would you visit? You can put it in the comment section so that I would know. And in today's fantastic class, I'm going to teach you all about the French verbs. So we're going to master the basics of French verbs conjugation. We're going to look at French verb endings in ER, IR, and RE because these are really important. And we're going to learn how to conjugate these verbs in the present tense, the past tense, and in the future tense. And lastly, you know how to identify common irregular verbs because that's really key. I'm trying to see if we can keep this under 1 hour because I know that those in Nigeria, it's like 8 p.m. there. I'll really, really try. But if it goes past, please do not be upset. I really want you guys to understand verb conjugation, verb tenses, so that anywhere you see them, you understand it. With that being said, let us get started. So, in the French language, and in most language, okay, not most language, but in the French language, the verbs are divided into three major groups. We have the ER verbs, the IR verbs, and the irregular verbs, okay? Understanding these groups and their conjugation patterns will help you navigate French grammar with ease. So in today's lesson, we're going to break down each group and look at sample conjugations, like I said earlier, in the present tense, le présent, in the past tense, le passé composé, and in the future tense, le futur, okay? We're going to do just that. Let us get started with the first group. So we call them first group, second group, and third group. So the first group are ER verbs. We are so lucky because the ER verbs, they are about they're made 70 they are made up of about 70% of the French language. So anywhere, most times you would see a lot of ER verbs. And after today's lesson, you are definitely going to be able to identify an ER verb immediately you see it. So first of all, like I said, ER verbs are the most common group of verbs in French, and they follow a regular pattern of conjugation. That's why they are called regular, because they follow a certain pattern. So the infinitive form of these verbs end in er, okay? For example, we have parler, to speak. You can see the last two words, they end in what? Er. We equally have aimer, which is to love. And what do you notice again? Exactly, it ends in er. And another example, donner, which means to give. What do you see? It equally ends in er. So anywhere, there's an exception, but we'll get there. But anywhere in the world that you see a French word, French verb that ends in er, you immediately know that it's an er verb. That is, it's a regular verb and it's under the first group verb. That means it follows a certain pattern. So if you take a look at this, you'd see that to conjugate it in the present tense, and somebody was asking me, so what do you mean by conjugate? Let me explain in English first of all. For instance, if you want to look at the word walk, that is I walk. To conjugate it, I would say I walk, you walk. Sorry, that's in French. I am walking, he is walking, she is walking, they are walking, you are walking. That means that verb has been conjugated. If you want to say it in the past tense, I walked, she walked, they walked, we walked. Do you get? So that verb has been conjugated. So when the verb is in an infinitive form, it's a verb that has not been touched. It's just the same verb. But when they say a verb has been conjugated, it means that the certain endings have been put. Okay? So if you want to conjugate the verb parler, which means to speak, in English, I would say what? I speak, he's speaking, she's speaking, they are speaking, we are speaking. And the past tense is what? We spoke, you spoke, I spoke, she spoke, they all spoke. Is that clear? Please let me know in the comment section if I'm clear, if you're understanding what I mean by conjugation and infinitive verb. Just say clear or yes, so that I know that I haven't lost you yet. Okay, thank you. I've seen your comment. Okay, good. So I've still got you guys. Good to know that you're still understanding. Thank you, Rukaya. Okay, so let's get started with parler. To conjugate parler, let me help you because this might be a bit confusing. Let's go to this. These are the endings that you add. Please take note. You can take a screenshot of it. That's perfect. To conjugate an ER verb in the present tense only, please take note. To conjugate an ER verb in the present tense, these are the endings that you would use. For je, in the last class, I taught you guys about subject pronouns. Okay, so if you haven't watched that lesson, you can just check on my YouTube video. You're going to see a lesson on subject pronouns. That is what we have here, je, tu, il, elle. And in English, subject pronouns in English are I. If I wanted to say Rukaya is she. If I want to say John, that's he. If I want to say everybody here, it would be they. Okay? So subject pronouns are I, you, he, she, they, we, us. Okay? So in French, in order for you to conjugate this verb parler in le présent, in the present tense, you remove the er endings. Remember what I said here. You take away the er, okay? The er of each of these verbs, and you add these endings here. So the first, you add an e, and it becomes what? Je parle. Do you get it? Please take note, you do not say je suis pas. I've heard that before. I'm like, there's nothing like that. In the French language, there's no ing. In English, we would say I am speaking, right? But in French, we say I speak, you speak, she speaks. In English, we say I am speaking, you are speaking, she is speaking, but it doesn't work the same way, guys. We're learning French, not English. So please never, ever, ever say je suis pâle. It does not exist. Okay. This is what you change. You change these endings. As you can see here, je, the ending becomes what? Pâle. For tu, the ending is es. For il, elle, and on, the ending is just e. Okay, which is similar to je. You're lucky. For nous, the ending is ons. For vous, the ending is ez. For il and elle, the ending is ent. So let me read it out for you. It will be je parle, tu parles, il parle, elle parle, on parle. And then the plural versions, nous parlons, vous parlez, il parle, elle parle. You might say, whoa, Sumo, why didn't I say il parlons? It does not exist. The only reason why the ENT is there is so that when you're writing, someone can differentiate that you're talking about singular and you're talking about plural. But the pronunciation is very similar to that of il, the singular version. Il parle, elle parle. It's the same, okay? So please take notes for the present tense, ER verb, any ER verb. I just gave you guys 3 examples here. Parler, aimer, donner. You can think of so much more. To walk is marcher. To eat is manger. To listen, which is what you guys are doing, écouter. Okay, anywhere you see any verb, any French verb that ends with er, just remember it's a regular verb. Okay, that means it follows a certain pattern. It is regular, nothing changes. We good? Okay, let's take a look at some sample sentences so that you can see how they look in case you're reading a book or you happen to just see it on an advert. So you know that, okay, Sumo is right. This is an ER verb. So the first is, I speak French fluently. Je parle français couramment. The next, you speak too quickly. Tu parles trop vite. Okay? The next sentence, she is speaking with her friends on the phone. Elle parle avec son ami au téléphone. Okay? The fourth, we talk about politics every day. Nous parlons de politique tous les jours. The next, do you speak Spanish? Vous parlez espagnol? And the last one, they are talking about their trip to Italy. Ils parlent de leur voyage en Italie. Okay, guys? Have I lost you? Are we good? I'm sure we're good. I know you guys are smart. I'm sure Sumo, that makes sense. Okay, please do not forget, these are just sentences so that anywhere you see any verb like this, you immediately know, oh, it's an ER verb. Okay, remember the endings, guys? These are the endings. Je, you can take a screenshot if you want. I can pause for you. Je ending, remember, is E. Tu is ES. Il, elle, on is E. Nous is ONS. Vous is EZ. Il, elle is ENT. ENT. Okay? We're good? We're good. Okay, so we've looked at ER verbs in the present tense. So any ER verb of the word you can think of, you conjugate them the same way. Now, let's take a look at ER verbs in the past tense. For those that are just joining, welcome. I said in the beginning, we have the first group verbs, which are mainly ER verbs. The second group verbs, we haven't gotten to that yet, and we have the irregular verbs, okay? So we've taken a look at the first group verbs in the present tense. Now we're going to take a look at the same first group verbs in the past tense, and then afterwards we look at it in the future tense. So for le passé composé, the passé composé of ER verbs uses avoir as an auxiliary verb. And this just means that for each verb you see here, you know how we did je parle? So in English, we'll say I spoke. We have already conjugated it that way. Instead of saying the past tense of I speak is I spoke, correct? So in English, we just removed the EA and made it I spoke. That's even weirder. So in French, you would say j'ai parlé. So what you need to remember is The endings for parle, you take away the ER and you replace it with just the E with this accent on top. I wish I could use my marker on this so that you guys can actually see it. I can't, apologies. Ugh. Next time I'll probably use Zoom so that I can actually draw on it. But basically, we have the verb parler. You remove the ER verb and you replace it with this E here. The E you guys seen at the end of each one, that's what you replace it with. But then it becomes j'ai parlé. You have to always use the verb avoir with most of the ER verbs. Some of them are movement verbs, but most of them you have to use the verb avoir. If you don't know what avoir is, you're like, what is Sumo talking about? You have to check my YouTube channel. I have an actual video on avoir and être so that you can understand what they mean, okay? Avoir it means to have. So in French, literally what this means is I have spoken. So j'ai parlé, if you want to be literal, it's I have spoken. Tu as parlé, you have spoken. Did you get it? Il ou elle a parlé, he has spoken, she has spoken. Nous avons parlé, we have spoken. Vous avez parlé, you have spoken. That's in the plural form. So maybe we're talking to 10 people, you all have spoken. Ils ou elles ont parlé. Okay? They have spoken. But in French, we just say I spoke, you spoke, he or she spoke. But if you want to conjugate, you want to actually translate each word for word, it's I have spoken, you have spoken, we have spoken. Are we clear? Let me know in the comment section. Tell me, yes, we're clear. No, Sumo. Repeat it again. Anything you guys want, I'm here for you. Okay. 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 Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm seeing we're clear. Oh, you guys are fantastic. Thank you. So just remember, guys, for most of the ER verbs, okay, it's written here for ER verbs, the past participle is formed by placing the ER with the E apostrophe, with the accent aigu, excuse me, okay? This is called accent aigu, but that's not what this lesson is about. The E just has to have that thing on top of it. Just remember the E has a dash on top of it. If you're a student of mine, you understand what I mean by French accents. You can equally watch on my YouTube video once again, where I have a video on French accents. But with that being said, let us take a look at how we actually use this in sentences. So I would say, j'ai parlé à mon patron hier. I spoke to my boss yesterday. I have spoken to my boss yesterday. I spoke with him yesterday. Okay. You spoke at the meeting. Tu as parlé à la réunion. She spoke about her experience. Elle a parlé dans son expérience. We spoke about everything. Nous avons parlé de tout. You spoke too loudly. Vous avez parlé trop fort. They spoke about their decision. Ils ont parlé de leur décision. Okay? So you see each of these sentences, we all have the verb avoir. J'ai, tu as, elle a, nous avons. You have to put it before the parler. So the good thing, and why I'm telling you guys that this is a regular verb is, the only thing that is changing here is the parler here, you take away the ER and you put the E. So the only thing that changes is the j'ai, tu as, il, elle a, nous avons, vous avez, ils ont, elles ont. And that's because you need to know the subject pronouns and you need to know the verb avoir. Once you know your subject pronouns and the verb avoir, it's easy. All the ER verbs follow the same pattern. So nothing's going to change. Okay? With that being said, let us take a look now at ER verbs in the future tense. So we've taken a look at what? ER verbs in the present tense. You guys are perfect at that. You've taken a look at ER verbs in the past tense, and now we're looking at ER verbs in the future tense. So the future simple is formed by adding, this one is even the easiest. You're just adding endings to them. So take a look at the first one. What did we add? You keep the verb parler. You're not removing anything. Parler is still parler. We're using parler throughout. And what did I do for je? I added AI. Je parlerai. Tu parleras. Il ou elle parlera. Same pronunciation. Nous parlerons. Vous parlerai, il, elle parleront. This you pronounce ONT, obviously. So do you see? Parler is still there. The verb parler still stays. All you do is for je, you add the AI. For tu, you add AS. For il and elle, you add just A. For nous, you add ONS. For vous, you add EZ. And for the plural version, you add ONT. We clear, guys? Let's take a look at sample sentences so you can actually see it in action. The first one, I will speak to my friend tomorrow. Je parlerai à mon ami demain. Okay, that's the future. You will speak at the conference. Tu parleras à la conférence. She will speak about her book. Elle parlera de son livre. We will talk about our future. Nous parlerons de notre avenir. You will speak to your boss. Vous parlerez à votre patron. They will speak about their project. Ils parleront de leur projet. So you see, guys, we now know how to conjugate the ER verb in the future tense. Remember, for the first group, the present tense only, you need to have specific endings, okay? For the past tense to conjugate in ER verbs, you need to use avoir. So j'ai parlé, tu as parlé, and so forth. And for the beautiful future tense, what did I do? You simply add the ending. So you're not taking off anything. You leave parler as parler, and you just add these endings. A-I, A-S-A, O-N-S, E-Z, E-N-T. Okay, so to be sure that we all get everything I've said, do this quickly for me in the chat box. So just conjugate the verb dormir in the present tense to test you guys, to be sure that, okay, you guys got it. You guys are perfect. You know what ER is. Let me quickly go back to help you because maybe somewhere I'm not sure. You just joined. So I said the ER verb in the present tense. These are the present tense endings. So you see, you have the ER verbs in the present tense. This is it. I'm showing you. So you're conjugating the verb donner. You can take a quick screenshot. I'm going to move quickly. You want to take a screenshot? I'm going to wait for you. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. I've taken the screen. Exactly your screenshots. All right. Okay. So we are conjugating the verb donner in the present tense. Don't do any other thing, just the present tense. So put it in the chat box for me. Conjugate the verb donner in le présent. In the present tense. I want to see who will get it today. I want to see who's going to get it today. Okay. I'm seeing, sorry, I don't know. I don't want to mispronounce it. I apologize. Gitesh. I think it's Gitesh or Jesus. I'm so sorry if I mispronounced it. Good try. But you missed something. Why don't you go back and check it? Please don't form sentences. Just conjugate the verb. That's all I need. So you see the way I did it here? Just give me je and conjugate don. Tu, conjugate the don. No sentences. Just conjugate it to make it easy for you. Okay, thank you. I'm seeing Ojo Tulezon. Great work, guys. Ooh, thank you for being so interactive. Just conjugate. If you don't know how to conjugate everything, it's fine. You can just conjugate just je, tu, il. But I want to be sure that we actually get everything I said. Okay, I've seen more. Fantastic. Je donne, tu donnes. Perfect. How do you do I don't know how to do the celebration on this. Perfect, guys. Well done. Perfect. Okay. Perfect. Good. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Good. You guys are the bomb. I'm mind blown. You guys are the best. Okay. So this is it. So look at the correction here. If you got it, you got it. You know it. You're like, yes, Sumo, I know ER verbs now. If you wake me up in the middle of the night, I can give you 10 ER verbs and give you their conjugations. Whoa. That's what I want to hear. Fantastic, Gitesh. Fantastic, Gloria, Grace, Ojo Tule. Perfect. Perfect, Uche. Perfect. Okay, guys. So this is the correction. We all got it. Yay. It means I'm teaching you well. That's awesome. Now let's move on. I told you guys 1 hour. I don't want to keep you for longer. We're taking a look at the second group, IR verbs. For those just joining, welcome to the French Arena Masterclass on French verb conjugations. I just taught the ER verbs, which is the first group verbs. I've taught the ER in the present tense, how to conjugate it, in the past tense and the future. People sometimes ask me, so what do you mean by the word conjugate? Conjugate means you've taken a word and you've transformed it. So in English, for instance, we have a verb. Sorry, you're taking a verb, not a word. You have a verb, walk. And when you conjugate it, it becomes I am walking. You are walking. He is walking. That's what I mean by to conjugate. So in the French language, we don't have ing. So you cannot say I am walking in French. You just say I walk. That's why you can never say je suis marché. No, you say je marche because it's been conjugated. Okay? So you can watch this video again if you just joined, but let's move on to the second group, IR verbs. IR verbs. It stressed me when I was learning French, but anyways, IR verbs form the second group and also follow a regular conjugation pattern. Their infinitive forms end in IR. Okay, so infinitive is the same thing as what I taught you. We have fini. This means in English to finish. So to finish is a verb in English. To finish, to walk, to eat, to bathe, to sleep, to read, to speak. Those are all verbs in English. So finir is an IR verb. And why? You can see that the ending, it ends in IR. That's why it's called the second group, IR verbs. For this group, I think we have about maybe 30% of the French language is in this group. So yeah, as I say, you're lucky with the ER verbs. You have about 70%. And the second group that follows is IR verbs. So how do we conjugate this beautiful group? We just simply remove the IR and we put these endings. So the first one, let's take a look at the table. The table really helps. That's what I realized. So if you look at what I have on this table, guys, is the same thing I have here. I've just put it on the table so you can actually see when it's conjugated, okay? So see this first one, we have je, and the conjugation is is. Tu, the conjugation is is as well. Il, elle, on, the conjugation is it. Nous is where it gets interesting. It's ils sont. Vous, issez. Il, elle, is. So if I want to say it, I'll say je. You don't say je finisse. Okay, I wanted to say that part, guys. You don't say je finisse. Je finis. S is silent. When you're writing, it's there. But when you're speaking, it's silent. Je finis. Tu finis. Il finit. Now you say nous finissons. Vous finissez. Il ou elle finissent. Let me put it here if you prefer this version, okay? The same thing I have here, guys. Je finis, I finish. I'm finishing, if you want to use it in English. Tu finis, you are finishing. Il, elle finit. He or she finishes. He is finishing, she is finishing. Okay? Nous finissons, we finish. Vous finissez, you finish. If you're talking to like 10 people or you're talking to someone older, it's formal and plural. And il ou elle finissent. We don't say finissons again. That finis is how I know it's plural. Okay? Let's look at sample sentences to really help you. So, I'm finishing my work for today. How would I say that? Je finis mon travail pour aujourd'hui. Are you finishing your meal? Tu finis ton repas? She is finishing her studies next year. Or in French, she finishes her studies next year. C'est la même chose. Elle finit ses études l'an prochain. We are finishing our project together. Nous finissons notre projet ensemble, together. Are you finishing your thesis? Vous finissez votre thèse? They are finishing their soccer game. Ils finissent leur partie de football. Okay? Before we move ahead, guys, this is the conjugation. This is what we have. You can take a screenshot. This is how you conjugate any regular IR verbs. I'm saying regular because we have irregular IR verbs. We'll get there, don't worry. Any regular IR verbs, this is the conjugation. Remember what we said in the ER verbs? To conjugate in le présent, in the present tense, you have certain patterns to follow. For the IR verbs, any IR verb you see, once again, take a screenshot. So you can have it forever. Any IR verb you see, this is how you conjugate them. Okay? This is how you conjugate it. Let me know in the comment section if we're clear. Please just type clear, type IR verb, and you can just let me know that, okay, so we're good to go, that I understand how to conjugate an IR verb in the present tense. This is only for present tense, guys. Please take note. This is not past tense or future tense. In the English language, I would say I am finishing, and the past tense, I have finished. Okay? Alrighty. I'm seeing clear, clear, clear. Thank you. Thank you. Perfect. Okie dokie. Let's keep it moving. Oh, sorry, I went too fast. Now, let's conjugate that same verb, finir, in the past tense, le passé composé. Okay? Let's conjugate it in the past tense. Like ER verbs, most IR verbs also use avoir in the passé composé. So you see why I said avoir is really important for you to know. You need to know how to conjugate the verb avoir. Because once again, we're back with j'ai. Do you see it? So for the verb fini, what did I do here? You take away the IR and you add only E. That's all. That's the only thing you're doing. So remember the same way for parler, what did we do? We took away the ER and we only put E with the accent aigu on top, with the dash on top. So for the IR verbs, in the regular IR verbs in the past tense, to conjugate it, you first conjugate the subject pronoun with the verb avoir, j'ai, I, and you put fini. That's it. So take away the IR and put an I. That's all you need. J'ai fini. Tu as fini. Il ou elle a fini. Nous avons fini. Vous avez fini. Ils ou elles ont fini. Do you see? Please, you need to memorize this, guys. It's so easy. Once you come across any IR verb in the past tense, just remember, okay, Sumo said avoir. Use avoir to conjugate it. Okay, most of them use avoir. Very few use être, but that's not for today's lesson. Most of them use avoir. So you're good to go. And even if you do make a mistake when you're talking to a French person, it's fine. It's not the end of the world. They'll be like, okay, I mean, how many times have you guys met someone learning English that will make a mistake? You don't laugh at the person, you just correct them. So don't worry, if you make a mistake, they correct you. You make it again the next time. So even if you do make a mistake and say, je suis fini, they're like, huh? But they get what you mean and they'll just correct you. But this is the right way, okay? It's always j'ai fini. Let's look at sentences so you can actually see it in reality. So I finished my work last night. J'ai fini mon travail hier soir. Did you finish your exam? Tu as fini ton examen? She finished her studies with honors. Elle a fini ses études avec honneur. We finished our project on time. Nous avons, nous avons fini notre projet dans les temps. Did you finish your book? Vous avez fini votre livre? They finished their tennis match. Ils ont fini leur match de tennis. Okay? So you can see, guys, this is our verbs that have been conjugated in the past tense. Please note this is not present tense, this is not future. We're only talking on the past tense here. So we've conjugated IR verb in the past tense. Okay? Now, let's move on. Let me first know in the comment section, are we good to go? We get it? Oh, before I even tell someone say, yes, I got it. Thank you. Okay, thank you. Now let's look at the final section for the IR verb, which is how to conjugate an IR verb, a regular IR verb in the future tense. Okay, how do we conjugate it in the future tense? So what do? The same thing. You keep as with the ER verbs, it's just the same, literally the same, guys. You keep the verb fini and you slap on AI. That's all. So you see, it becomes je finirai. Easy, right? Tu finiras. Il ou elle finira. Nous finirons. Vous finirez. Ils, elles finiront. Do you see? It's the exact same thing we have as AI for ER. I'm just going to go back quickly so you guys can see what I mean for those that just joined. So this is future tense IR verbs. Apologies for those that just joined. It's just to help you guys see what I'm talking about. Do you see? the same ending, future tense, AI, AS, A, ONS, EZ, ONT. No, not the same ending for that part, but yeah, you get what I mean. So you see the same thing for the IR verbs in le futur, in the future tense. All you need to do is add these endings, AI, AS, A, ONS, EZ, ONT, and you're good to go. So that's what we mean, guys, when we say irregular verb. They all follow. So any verb that is IR regular, they're all going to follow the same pattern. In order to be sure you guys actually get what I'm saying, conjugate the verb choisir in the present tense. Choisir means to choose, okay? So we just took a look at finir. Let me help you in case you just joined. Finir, this is how you conjugate the verb finir in the present tense. Now, conjugate choisir in the present tense. Take a screenshot of this so you do not make a mistake. Please pause and actually look at it. Don't just rush to write your answers. I need you to memorize and remember this for life, not just for today, for life. It makes your conversation smoother, easier. Have you taken a screenshot? Not of me, of the conjugation for the verb, the second group verb IR. Okay? This is the conjugation. These are the endings IS, IS, IT, ISON, IC, IS. Are we good? Sank, cat. Oh, am I not supposed to count down like this, cat? I don't know how to count down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's how to count down. So put it in the comment section. Conjugate the verb choisir. Choisir means to choose. Conjugate the verb choisir in the present tense. No sentences, just conjugate the verb. I want to be sure you got it. Like, wow, Sumo, thank you. It's easy. I understand it. Only in the present tense. Okay, I'm seeing your answers. Yep, yep, yep. Yeah, perfect. Good. Good. Great work, Abena. Good, 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 good. Mm-hmm. Great, great work, guys. Great work. I'm happy to see this. You guys are getting it. My day has been made. My year has been made. My month has been made. Great work, guys. Perfect. Good. Abena, fantastic. Grace, Ujo Tule, Abena again. Taki, great work, guys. This is good. At least I can see you guys understanding that is superb. So remember, that's how you conjugate every single IR verb in the present tense. Okay? In the present tense, this is how you conjugate it. We're only talking about the present tense. I'm not saying the past or the future. And I know you guys want to do that. The past will be what? J'ai choisi. And the future will be what? Je choisirai. That's it. Okay? So je choisis. You know, this is exactly how you conjugate the verb in the present tense. That's all you need to know. Okay, I can see answers are still coming in. Yep. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Amazing, amazing, amazing work, guys. Okay, we're working well with time today. Moving forward, drum roll. I do not like this group of verbs. Let me be honest, guys. Even teaching it, sometimes I'm like, how am I going to teach this particular one? Because it has no pattern. The third group, irregular verbs, they have no pattern, guys. I just wrote it here. Irregular verbs do not follow a predictable pattern like ER and IR verbs. Each verb has its own unique conjugation, which is the most painful part. But what do? We have the same thing in English. Let me think of one in English. I am singing. I sung. I sang. Why can't I say I singed? It's an irregular verb. I can't say I singed or I songed. You'd be like, what? But it's I finished. I am finishing. I am walking. I walked. I'm sleeping. I slept. But in English, it's different. So we too have our problems as well. We have irregular verbs in English. Okay, guys. So I can't teach you a pattern. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you some examples of regular verbs and give you tips on how when you see them, you know they're irregular. The honest exactly. Ben has even said I come, I came. Is it I came or I went? I can't even, okay, that's to go. You see, it's even I'm even like, huh? But anyways, irregular verbs, these are some examples. Être, it's to be. Avoir, to have. Faire, to do or to make. Aller is to go. So let us conjugate them together. These are the conjugations. Take a screenshot if you want. These are the conjugations. So once again, we have je. So for être, it will be what? Je suis, tu es, il est, nous sommes, vous êtes, ils sont, elles sont. Okay? For avoir, the famous avoir that I've been talking about, if this is your very first French class in your whole lifetime, avoir is j'ai. Why is it not je avoir? Because it's not. Or why isn't it conjugated? Do you see that avoir is an IR? It's an IR verb, but it's not an IR verb. Like the spelling is AVOIR. So like, Sumo, you just taught us fini. So that means it should be what? Je av. I don't even, you can't even, je avois. But it's not that. I apologize. I genuinely apologize. It's not that. It's j'ai. J'ai, tu as, il a, nous avons, vous avez, ils ont, elles ont. That's the conjugation for avoir. Do you see? Do you see what I'm saying by I can't teach you a pattern? I just have to show you, and you have to just keep learning. The more you practice, the more you will pick the actual irregular verbs. Let's look at another one. Faire. Do you see that the ending is even re? So let me even look at this, guys. Look at the verb être, the top one. Do you see that it has re at the end, and faire has re at the end? But you notice that their endings are not the same. The first is je suis. This other one is je fais. Why is it not the same endings? It's not the same. So the best you can really do is just by practicing. For instance, again, let's look at être and faire. For nous, we have nous sommes, but faire is nous faisons. Why is it not nous étrons? It's just not that. Let's look at aller. Aller means to go. This is the ER verb I told you guys. That's an ER verb, but it's not an ER regular verb. It's an irregular verb. Because unfortunately, I don't say je aller. I say je vais, tu vas, il ou elle on va, nous allons, vous allez, ils, elles vont. It's not the same as the ER verbs we just learned today, guys. It's not the same. And I know it can give you a headache in the beginning, like, I'm not learning French again. I'm done. But I promise you, it gets better. Okay? So how do you remember irregular verbs? This is how you remember them, by practicing. You can clearly see it's black and white. There is no pattern. None of them are following the same pattern. Absolutely none of them. You just have to remember them. Okay, let's look at sample sentences to help you. Aller, for instance, what would I say? I am going, or in French, I go. I am going to the park with my friends. Je vais au parc avec mes amis. Are you going to the beach tomorrow? Tu vas à la plage demain? She goes to school every day. Elle va à l'école tous les jours. Okay? Next. Être, to be. I'm a student. Je suis étudiant. If I was feminine, it would be what? Je suis étudiante. We're not talking about feminine and masculine today. You are very kind. Tu es très gentil. She's beautiful. Elle est belle. Faire, which is to make or to do. I do my homework every evening. Je fais mes devoirs tous les soirs. Do you play sports regularly? Tu fais du sport régulièrement? She cooks Italian food. Elle fait de la cuisine italienne. Do you see? Conjugations are everyone. And then avoir. We have, I have a dog. J'ai un chien. Are you hungry? Tu as faim? She is 25 years old. Elle a 25 ans. With avoir, I know this part may be a bit confusing. Let me explain the last part. In English, we say, I am 2 years old. I am 10 years old. I am 100 years old, right? And because you've seen this conjugation here, where is it? Oh, sorry. Apologies. You've seen être, je suis. So I am a student is je suis étudiant. In your head, you probably think, okay, I am 10 years old should be je suis 10 ans. No, the French said no, we're going to confuse you. In French, you say j'ai. So it's I have 10 years under my belt in quotes. I have 100 years. I have 57 years. I have 29 years. Do you get? You don't say I am, you say elle a 25 ans. So if I wanted to say I am 25 years old, I would say j'ai 25 ans. If I wanted to say I'm 10 years old, j'ai 10 ans. I have 10 years. That's what I have. The same way, once again in English, what do we say? I am hungry. Are you hungry? In French, it's I have hunger because I am not hungry. My name is Sumulu. I'm not hungry. I am not hungry. I have hunger. Do you get it? But yeah, I'm hoping this was extremely clear, guys. So once again, for irregular verbs, you just have to remember them. I'm just I'm sorry, guys. You just have to remember them. That's the best I can say. The more you practice, the better you get. I promise. I was a beginner as well, and then I was intermediate, and then I was advanced. The more you practice, the better you get. Once you see some verbs, you just know that okay, this verb is. When you make the mistake, you get corrected. That's the truth, and then you remember for life. So, what have we done today? Today we have looked at er verbs in the present tense, the past tense, and the future tense. Right? We also looked at IR verbs in the present tense, the past tense, and the future tense. And now I have shown you irregular verbs in the present tense. I'm not going to stress you by showing you the future and the past because that's going to be confusing, but I have already given you sample sentences on how to understand them. Because even if I show you in the past and the future, they don't follow the same pattern. The headache you would have, you won't, I don't know, you probably won't want to see me again. But this is it. This is the present tense. Just remember how this conjugation comes up, okay? Let me answer someone's question quickly before we move on. How to identify if a verb falls under second group or third, because both ends with IR. That's it, is by practicing. That's the truth. So I just showed you guys this avoir. It's an IR verb in quotes, but it's not a regular IR verb, so it cannot follow the same pattern. Do you get? I showed you guys fini and choisi. Avoir doesn't follow that pattern, does it? It doesn't. Take a look at avoir here, right? Let me take it a step back. Is it the same pattern as this? It's not. And this is an IR verb. That's just your answer. The more you practice, the better you get. Okay? The next question is why isn't in huh? Oh, why isn't S in sweet pronounced in the sentence I am a student? Beautiful question. Thank you for this, Uche. Why isn't sweet pronounced in the sentence I am a student? It just isn't. I know why isn't it just Swiss? Yeah. It just isn't. It's silent. So there are some words that are silent in French language. We don't pronounce there's some consonants that are silent. So you just pronounce je suis, not je suis. I never even thought of that. I think because I just learned how to pronounce the word. But yeah, perfect question. Thank you. Good question. Okie dokie. So we have taken a look at each of them. And I am hoping that this, guys, RE verbs as well. Ojo says, thank you. The same thing. You just look at this fair RE verb. It's literally irregular. You just have to learn how to conjugate it. That's just the truth. You just have to learn how to conjugate them. Most of them are irregular. The better you get, the more you practice, the better you get. So you're going to see some of these verbs pond so much when we're like, whoa. But the more you practice, the better you get. I think we're doing well with time. I said 1 hour and this is 3:47. I'm doing well. Okay, so we have looked at sample sentences. Are we clear, guys? Please let me know in the comment section. Yes, Sumo, I now understand ER verbs and IR verbs. Maybe RE verbs and irregular you may not, and that is fine. It didn't take me 1 day, 1 week, or 1 month. I'm not going to lie. It didn't take me that, no. But by practicing daily, what you can do is every day look for a French verb and tell yourself, is it an ER, IR, RE verb, and conjugate it. What I did then, I started with the alphabet. So I'll pick a verb that is an ER verb that starts with A, and I'll write aimé, right? Then I pick an IR verb that starts with A as well. What word can I think of? Obey. No. My brain is even paused now. Agir. Then you pick another verb, an irregular verb like aller, and you conjugate 3 of them. Do you get? So you conjugate it in the present tense for each of them today. Then pause. Tomorrow, form sentences for each of them using the subject pronouns that you guys already know. The next day, pick letter B, alphabet B, sorry, and conjugate a present tense in B, in past tense, and also in the ERIRRE, and then you get better. Okay, I'm seeing your messages. I am clear. I am clear. Thank you, thank you, thank you, guys. Okie dokie. So what we have next is, if you guys want extra support, maybe you feel, okay, Sumo, I understand this, but I believe I want to learn more. You can join my course for only those here, guys. It's normally $80, but for today, I'm charging it for just $45. If you're in the UK, US, or any country and you want to pay with Stripe, there's a link in the comment section. You can pay there. If you're in Nigeria and you want to pay to join, it's only 45,999. I promise you, it is a steal. You're going to learn about 150 verbs. 150 verbs. Okay? So each day, you're going to practice verbs in the present tense. The next day, you have exercises. After that, you practice verbs in the past tense. You have exercises. Then you practice verbs again in the future tense. Afterwards, we start with the second group. You have it in present, past, future. And then the third group verbs, where you were asking me about the RE verbs, you have them. See, guys, even in the irregular verbs, the third group verbs, there are more. We have verbs that end in OIR. You're like, is that not IR? It's not the same. That's like pouvoir, devoir. It's not the same. In this course, you have over 150 exercises. Trust me when I say, and the good thing is it's lifetime access. So it's a 21-day challenge, which means in 3 weeks, 21 days, you're going to understand and master the French verb groups forever. This is the foundation of speaking, guys. This is the foundation. Once you can understand it, it's easy for you to know how to make sentences. Okay, so check in the comment section. You'll see the links there. If you have any questions, you can equally send me a message to hello@frencharena.com. So Miracle has put the link there for you in the comment section. If you would like to join the course today, I'm like, you know what, Sumo, today is the last Saturday of this quarter. What have I done this year for the French language? Have I been able to achieve some goals I set? Okay, the year has not ended. Any day you wake up is your morning. The last 3 months of the quarter of the year, excuse me, let me master French conjugations. Let that be your goal, to master the French conjugations. Okay, so you can join right now today. If you want to join from Nigeria, you have access to Naira. It's only 45,999. Guys, that's for life. This is something you can spend on your hair, on food, on going out, on whatever. But this is an investment in your future to remember it. Okay, next. Let us practice this quickly. So before you leave today, let me know in the comment section each of the answers. Identify whether each verb belongs to the ER, the IR, or the irregular verb. So let me give you a bonus. Obviously, for chanter, we all know it's what? To sing. Excuse me, it's an ER verb. You can see it. So in the comment section, just put it right there. Let me know. Just put, you don't need to put the full answers. Just put number 1, ER, number 2, number 3. That's all. Okay? So put that. Let me actually be sure that, okay, you understood everything we learned in today's fantastic class on French verb conjugations. And if you want to take it a step further, remember what I said? There's a link in the comment section. If you want to join the course today, right now, it's only 45,999 if you're in Nigeria. If you're abroad or you have access to Stripe, it's only $45 for life. This is a course you can start watching right now. The second you make payment, you start watching your lessons, you have access to it forever. Okay, so these are the French verbs. Just put in your answers in the comment section below so that I can tell you if you got it right. Okay, I'm seeing some people there now. Good. Alrighty, great work, great work, great work. If you want to send an email, you can send an email to hello@frencharena.com. Okay, good work, guys. Yeah, you guys are getting it. Fantastic. Fantastic. This is good. Good. Okay. 7. Okay, good. Perfect. Perfect, guys. You guys are doing excellently well. Let me wait a few more seconds for others to put it there. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you for your answers, guys. Thank you so, so much. I can see that at least with this, you guys definitely understand the French verb groups in the present tense, in the past tense, and in the beautiful future tense. You probably understand it for the IR and for the irregular, which is fantastic. Well done, well done, well done. Okay, I'm seeing your answers. Good work, good work, good work. Oh, somebody's asking where to make payment, so apologies. Yeah, so you can make payment here if you want to. So if you're in Nigeria and you want to make payments, you make payments to this account. Please, if you're having troubles making any payments whatsoever, you can just send an email to hello@frencharena.com and I will respond to you, give you the link so that you can start learning French verb conjugations today. But let's look at the answers. So these are the answers, guys. For those that didn't get them, if you didn't get everything correctly, do not worry about it. Remember what I said, you're just starting. So it's okay if you didn't understand everything. You are actually just starting. If you're a beginner and this is your first class, you've done amazingly well if you're able to understand all. So chanter is what? To sing. And it's an ER verb. Réfléchir is an IR verb. Okay? To think, to reflect. Curie. Do you see, guys, that this one is very deceptive? It ends in IR, but it's an irregular verb. You do not conjugate it the same way as we do the other conjugations. Ouvrir is equally an irregular verb, to open, but it's irregular. It's not conjugated the same way as the conjugated choisi and fini. Penser is simple. It's an ER verb, correct? To think. Voyager, to travel. Remember what I asked you in the beginning? Which francophone country would you love to visit right now? So voyager, to travel, to visit. Attendre, this is an RE verb. It means to wait. Savoir is irregular. Je sais, tu sais, okay? Pouvoir is irregular. You see, guys, and the last one, vouloir. They all end in IR, but unfortunately, they are irregular verbs. They are irregular verbs. Okay? So you have to be really aware of all this. They are irregular verbs. So please take note of these, guys. It's really important. It's extremely important you know this. Okay? If, like I said earlier, if you want to learn faster, you say, okay, you know what, Sumo, thank you for teaching us this. I really believe I want to learn more about the course and I want to improve on my French verb conjugations. The links are in the comment section. You can join the course right now. So these are tips for learning French verbs. The first thing you need to do, identify the verb group, okay? So please start by recognizing whether a verb is a regular verb or it's irregular. That's the first thing you do. Once you figure out, okay, it's a regular verb, now tell yourself, is it an ER verb or an IR verb? Remember, regular verbs follow predictable patterns. That's all. So they are regular patterns, nothing changes. Secondly, focus on high frequency verbs. High frequency means these are the common verbs you use every day. So that être. Être means what? To be. I just told you guys, je suis. Avoir is j'ai. Use it every time. Aller means to go. Faire is to do. Think about it in English. What do you say? Oh, I'm talking to my mom on the phone. Oh, yeah, I have a dog right here. Oh, I'm going to school. Oh, I made my bed. You use these words every day. So you need to remember how to conjugate these verbs. Excuse me. It's really important. Practice your tense recognition. Remember what I said. Practice knowing if it's present, past tense, and future. Practice first of all with the present tense. Don't stress yourself and start going to imparfait, subjunctif. No, 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 no. Focus on the present. You're living in the present. You speak in the present. So focus on learning the present tense first, then move to the past tense, then the future tense. Then you can expand your grammar and vocabulary. Okay. So focus on these three first of all. Next, you can use flashcards. I tried it. So create flashcards for irregular verbs. So on this side, write the infinitive verb. That's right, aller. And on this side, write the conjugation here. So today you can do it in the past tense, tomorrow in the present. Another verb, try that so that once you look at it, I'm using my hand because as a flashcard to show you. Immerse yourself, practice, listen to songs, listen to podcasts, listen to the radio, read, read more books. The more you read, you're going to pick up new verbs. Speak with someone. Join my course and speak with other people. Write. Practice writing every day. Write in your journal. Have a journal for French conjugation. I'm going to write every single day. Practice. And lastly, repetition is key. The more you repeat conjugations and sentence structures, the more natural they will feel. Oh, okay. That's literally it, guys. There's no secret. That's just a secret. The more you practice, the better you get. Thank you so much for coming to today's fantastic lesson. Once again, if you want to join the amazing course, all you need to do is click this link below to join the course right away. It's normally $80, but it's simply just $45 for today's class. You have access to the course for life. You get to understand everything we learned today and so much more. I give you guys over 150 verbs. Trust me when I say this, you don't have to go on YouTube and be looking for verbs. You don't have to be checking everywhere. Everything is right here for you. You have exercises to practice, everything, and you're going to have it for life. So you can purchase the course now and be like, okay, Sumo, I'm going to start learning in Christmas. That's fine. It's there for you. Or you can be like me, like, I'm going to pay today and start learning today. It's there for you. If you have any questions, you can just send an email to hello@frenchirena.com. Thank you guys so much for coming today. Before it's time, if you have any questions for me, put it in the chat box before we head out. So I have 3 more minutes. I don't want to take you guys' time. I promise I'm going to be right on time. If you've got any questions, please put it in the chat box. Let me know. Let me respond to your questions right away. And if you don't have any questions, just tell me, thank you, Sumo. I understand ER verbs more. I understand IR verbs more. Yes, that it's YouTube. This class is on YouTube. So you can just check it once I click end, it's right there on YouTube, so you can watch it over and over again. You have complete access to it. Another question, what's the difference with IR and oh, you came in late, sorry. Watch the review again. The difference between IR and ER verbs they are different. That's just it. Parler is to speak, which is an ER verbs, and which is an ER verb, excuse me. And IR is like fini, to finish. In English, so we have different verbs. So in English, we have to finish, but we also have to speak, okay? How long does the fee cover the lessons? It's forever. You have access forever to the course. So there's no extra, there's nothing that you're not going to pay me any more money. Once you pay for the class today, you get started today. You can watch it till thy kingdom come. Literally. Watch it this year, watch it next year, watch it the year after, watch it 10 years later. You have access for life. It's lifetime access. And they're really short lessons. Each of them are like less than 20 minutes. So yeah, I'm not going to spend, this is a 1 hour course because it's packed with a lot of things. But in my course, I take my time to actually break each down. So you can see the schedule here. We first start with subject pronouns because people don't understand subject pronouns first. I can't speak English. It's really important. So you learn your subject pronouns first of all. It's a 21-day challenge. Another question, sorry. It's a 21-day challenge. That's 3 weeks. So in 3 weeks, you get to master the French verbs. After day 1, when you watch subject pronouns, you then understand the first group verbs. We just did that today, ER verbs, but I give you so much more. I give you like 50 verbs. Trust me. Then you have it in the past tense and the future tense, all conjugated, all with sample sentences. And then you have exercises to practice. Next, we have the second group verbs. So IR verbs in the present, the past, and the future. Okay? And then the third group verbs. We look at OIR. We look at verbs ending in RE. Verbs that you've never even heard before. You have them all here. And like I said, I have like 150 plus exercises. Okay? It's for life. You have access to it for life. You don't have to pay me any extra money. It's the same. It's $45 if you're here, and it's 45,999. Let me put that here. I apologize, I didn't put it here. 45,999, which is a steal, trust me, for forever. Okay. Any more questions? Oh, after going through the lessons, what next? What do you mean by what next? I don't know what you mean by what next. You keep practicing. That's it. After you go through the lessons, you keep practicing. That's it. So if you have a specific question, please let me know. And if you have any more questions, guys, I don't want to keep you more than 1 hour. It's already 1 hour, 2 minutes. You can send them to hello@frenchirena.com. Oh, someone says, hey, I paid Sumo. Thank you so much. Please send an email to hello@frenchirena.com, please. If you paid via Stripe, you should have access to the course right now. If you paid to my GTB account, just send an email to hello@frenchirena.com. Oh, another person has paid. Thank you so much, guys. Okay, so you have, where's my email address? Sorry. You can send it to hello@frenchirena.com. Just send an email saying, "Hi, Sumo, I just paid. Please send me your name and email address. That's all I need." You can start watching your lessons today. Okie dokie. Thank you guys so much for coming today. I am so thankful to have had you here. I'm really hoping you got to understand the French verb groups. Remember what I said. What's important is this practice, guys. That's the truth. The more you practice, the better you get. Repetition is key. Immerse yourself by practicing. You can join my free Telegram group as well, so you can meet people you can practice with. Okay? So keep practicing. If you have any questions, hello@FrenchArena.com. I'll be seeing you there. Thank you once again for coming to today's amazing class. I will see you next month. I try and do this every last Saturday or every last Sunday of the month. We'll see. If you have questions, hello at French Arena. Have a beautiful weekend with your family. Bye.